Courtney Pollack, first of all, I would like to thank you for having joined us at the Second International Forum of Global Management and Education. And you're a doctoral candidate at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about your research that you are doing there.
So, the work that I do there generally focuses on how students learn mathematics, and in particular algebra. So I've done different types of research projects, some that have been in classrooms and some that have been more in like a laboratory setting. So I've worked with some other faculty to look at how students solve algebra problems and the different methods that they use and the benefits of using those different methods. Mm-hmm. And then in my own research, I've looked at how students understand what mathematical symbols mean, like numbers and variables in algebra.
Mm-hmm. All the X's and Y's and the ABCs.
That's right.
I had tremendous difficulties when I was young at school, so somehow that eluded me. And it was only years later when I comprehended mathematics as a language, when I understood this is really a symbolic language. Mm-hmm. And that helped me really getting into it and understand what was going on with math in a larger sense. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think that that's a really perceptive way to think about mathematics because it is a language. Mm-hmm. It's a symbolic system. Mm-hmm. It has a particular syntactical structure. Mm-hmm. There are particular ways that you put symbols together that make sense. You could also put them together in ways that don't make sense, similar to a language. Mm-hmm. It's used for communication, the way that language is used for communication in other disciplines like the science.
So why are the difference in how math is being taught in the United States?
Well, there's a lot of difference that can happen because there's a lot of local control. Mm-hmm. So, for example, we do...
What do you mean by local control? The local authorities?
So, like, you can have people in one community who choose to teach slightly different things or have different requirements than in a different community or a different state.
Yeah.
So we do have a national... not a curriculum, but we have national standards, but the states are not required to opt in to use those standards, but if they choose to, there's incentives like funding tied to using those curriculum materials. But you also have different states will choose to have different requirements, and also different school districts might choose to use different types of curricular materials. Okay. So you might have a school curriculum that is very, in the States we would think of it as very traditional, where you have a lot of, not solely memorization, but you're doing a lot of problems, you're receiving direct instruction from the teacher, but then we also have a more reform approach, which is what we would call it in the States, which is maybe more focused on problem solving.
I see. And so which would be really what big employees are looking for. People who are capable of solving problems in an ever-changing world and just not following the straight algorithm and apply the same algorithm all over in their approaches to changes that we have on a daily basis. No?
Yeah. I mean,
so math really might be a tool for improving your problem-solving skills.
Yeah, I would hope that whatever approach is taken or whatever curriculum materials are used, the skills that students should have at the end should be the same. So there are many different ways to the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So Courtney, I have another question for you. Why is math important for us? Why should a child dedicate its time to learning math?
Oh, there are so many reasons why. I think that there's evidence to suggest that math is really important, or having numeracy skills is really important for things like personal health outcomes, for success in terms of economic success, in terms of life opportunities for jobs. At least in the United States, something like second-year algebra is thought to be a gatekeeper to higher mathematics or to better economic opportunities in terms of what you can study in college.
Yeah,
and
perfect. It prepares you for sorts of possible endeavors, academically or professionally speaking.
Yeah, and is definitely correlated with finishing college, for example. And math is important in that respect, just to have an educated citizenry and to be a person who has more opportunities.
Yeah, great. Courtney, thank you so much for joining us here in Brazil, and we really appreciate your participation, and you shed quite a new light on the subjects such as math in school, and all the professors that were present and asked you tons of questions. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a safe trip back home.
Thank you for having me.
Great.